What's up, everybody? Got a little yellow Volkswagen Beetle. Looks like a 2001. Volkswagen Beetle. So, we did the transmission fluid and filter. Let me show you that. It's in the trash can. There's your transmission fluid and filter, part number FK325 at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. So we did that transmission filter and fluid on this. This is the fluid we're going to be putting in it. Valvoline Max Life. We did look it up. It is compatible with it. Multi-vehicle is pretty compatible with a lot of different vehicles. So we looked this thing up online, made sure, double checked, made sure it would be good for this car, and it is. So if you got a Volkswagen Beetle, yes, there is a special Volkswagen brand, but you can use this, it'll just be fine. I got the shield metal protector off of it right now because I took that off to drop the pan. And here's your old gasket. These things have a pretty cool looking gasket. It's only 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the gasket kind of sits around the edge of the pan. And then the opposite side is what seals up against the bottom of the transmission housing. So that's the underside. This is what would go up. The pan would be coming in here, and this would sit up against the transmission. I think it's a pretty cool gasket. It's better than a lot of corkscrew stuff they sell you, and normally you get like 12, 14, up to 16 volts. On this thing you're only looking at 4, so it's pretty easy one to do. Here we're looking at the 20 valve Volkswagen, and this is the 1.8 turbo. If you see, I got a funnel going through here. There's a guy on YouTube that does a video telling you how to fill the transmission on one of these, right? So he has you take the battery tray out, the air box, the battery, and the battery tray underneath out, and then you can put a regular funnel in there, he says. Well, nothing against doing that if you want to work a lot more unnecessarily. Appreciate the guy's good intention in making a video trying to help people, but I decided to make this video to help those that like to do stuff easy way like I do. So if you see where this funnel's going, if I can get, there you go. See, this is the funnel. I'm touching it right here with the flashlight. So follow the funnel, and it goes all the way down on the other side of that engine harness. Let's see if I can reach down and touch it. Right there next to the funnel. So you want it on the right side of that, in between that harness and under the battery tray. You'll see it. You'll have access to it. Now, if you notice, this funnel has a screen mesh up here, so you make sure you get no debris that goes in through there. That'll catch that, and it's all aluminum. So that funnel's pretty cool, right? It'll fit through there. I got a part number. I'm not sure where I bought this thing at. I'm gonna pour this fluid, and then I'll take the funnel out, and I'll show it to you. I either got that thing at Napa or O'Reilly's. Those are my 2 favorite stores. I'm not an AutoZone or Advanced kind of guy. So here we got the car up in the air using jack stands. The car is level. You see the jack stands in the back, the same height with the jack stands in the front. Checked it with a tape measure. So the car is up in the air and level. Here's your new pan installed, and yes, it has a little bit of RTV around the gasket just for extra peace of mind so it doesn't leak. Now, I didn't gook it. A lot of people over gook it and you get all the RTV that will... Oh, dropping my flashlight. I don't think I need it right now anyways. You'll get all the RTV that will gook out in between here, like tortilla pancake out. I put a thin layer across the top just to keep any fluid that might want to squeeze out in between the rubber and the transmission casing. You don't want to go too thin, you don't want to go too thick, just enough, because what happens is if you put too much, it'll pancake out, but if it's pancaking out, some is pancaking in, and then it'll dry up, and eventually it'll break off, circulate inside of the pan, and boom, end up in your fluid floating and cause a blockage of flow inside your transmission. So I'm going to show you the drain. This is the drain. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill it without taking the battery tray out. Here is your fill neck. Now these cars, they don't have a dipstick. So I got a hose that I put from the bottom of the funnel because the funnel doesn't quite reach all the way down. You can kind of, let's see if I can show you. You can see where the funnel made it to about right there. And then the hose came down the rest of the way to here. So now I should be able to fill this thing easy peasy and go from there. Before I fill it, I'm going to pull that. I think I see this is a thing with these iPhones, they don't pause. I'm gonna go ahead so I don't work twice on having to pull this out and then put it back in just to fill it, because I haven't filled it yet. And I don't got nobody here to help me hold this, so I'm gonna put the phone down, stop recording, I'm gonna fill this thing up, start it up, and then I'm gonna pull that out and do a part 2 video showing you the actual funnel. I think that's the better way. May not be better for y'all, but it'll be better for me. So those that want to get the information on exactly what length hose and what funnel and where to buy it to be able to access this transmission fluid and fill it and not have to guess or figure it out, I'll make a part 2 video, attach it to this. So right now I'm just gonna fill. My neighbors know I work on a lot of cars here, and for some reason they're always driving around here trying to impress me. Well, you can't see them anymore. They're always trying to fly down here trying to impress me with how fast and loud their cars are. Really, honestly, not impressed by it at all. Okay, we're gonna go left-handed. And we're gonna pour nice and slow. There's about 4 quarts in this container. It's hard to pour one-handed and not make a mess. I'm gonna do about half of this container, which is 2 quarts. And I'm gonna fire in the hole and check this thing. I didn't put my phone on silent, on do not disturb. I normally get a lot of phone calls. Today's a Sunday, so the phone ain't that active. But if I get a phone call, it's gonna interrupt this video. So I'll just make that part 2 and make sure I put it on do not disturb. I think I poured a little more than half. Didn't judge that right. So apparently it takes like 2 point some quarts, almost 3 quarts. I think there's about, no, hold on. Maybe I'm on the money. This is crooked. Let's put it on a flat surface. Oh, sorry, my hands are in the way. Okay, so we're gonna start from the bottom up. This is 1 quart, 2 quarts, 3 quarts, and then 4 wherever they stop. So I should have stopped somewhere around here. I went just a smidge lower. Pretty much, 2.3 quarts, something like that in there right now. So it's most likely not overfilled. Now, a second ago, I had this little baby funnel. You see little guy? Little baby guy right here. And I was just going to put a little baby guy in there and try to fill it through there. But it was tight quarters, and I would have probably been able to do it this way too if I would have removed this plastic cover from here. But I didn't want to get to removing all that. Like I said, y'all, I get kind of lazy with this. I like to do stuff the easy way. And it was much easier to stick this hose on here because, as you can see, it's a nice tight fit. There's no leaking. That fluid's going into the pan as it should, nice and easy. So yeah, now the next thing is I like my little baby funnel. The next thing is how to check it if it's full, right? So the way these are checked is they have to be at temperature, and there's 2 ways to do that. They sell these things at Harbor Freight, infrared thermometer. So you start the car up and you point that red dot at the transmission and you get a temperature, right? So we'll use this, we'll start it up. And the other way to do it is with an engine scanner reader, where you can see the temperature on the scanner here. You can see the temperature while the car is running. So you're gonna go under here to this OBD2 port, and you're gonna plug your scanner in there. Got it upside down. Whoops. There you go. Get that plugged in there. You're gonna put your year in here, and most of y'all should know what year your car is. If you don't know, says it over here. This was made in 10 of 2000, so that makes it a 2001. Anything after the 6th month is considered the year after. 6th month or prior would be the year of. So this is a 2001, even though that says 10 of 2000. This is a 2001 Volkswagen Beetle that I personally would have never bought, but to each their own. It's a cute little girl's car. And I don't think the key is in this. So I'm gonna set this down for 2 seconds and go get this key. We're back with the key. Most of that fluid is ran down in there. Spilled a little bit of it. Go down the Volkswagen new Beetle 1.8 turbos. What we got in here, we're going to communicate. Keep in mind, some people will try to do this and not have the car level, and you can't. Even if it's at temperature, you're not going to get an accurate reading if the car isn't level. So we're not reading codes, we're going down to view data, checking all our PIDs, 329 of them. Entire list. And here you'll see your engine idling at 8:30. And we're going to scroll down to coolant temp. I want to see the relation of the engine temperature to the transmission temperature. It helps me gauge if my sensors are with the parameters are close to each other, or if they're really far off. So I'm going to pull this out and set this over here where I can be watching that coolant temp right there. And then we're going to come back over here and use our infrared Harbor Freight. Uses 2 AA batteries, Centec infrared tester. Pretty simple tool. So we're going to turn this puppy on unless the batteries are dead. There we go. And we're going to let this thing run. And if you can see, the car is up on all 4 wheels and it is level. We got the funnel and the hose in there, and yes, it's not leaking. And then you can pour your point, meant to say, your infrared tester. I'm pointing it about right there. We are on Fahrenheit. We're reading about 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, this car's been sitting in the garage overnight, hasn't been started, so it is super duper cold. And we're going to need to give it a little bit to heat up. We know how much we poured in it. Like I said, we got just about 2 quarts in it. The guys at O'Reilly's told us what we had in it. This is a 5mm. If I can focus on that for y'all. 5mm Allen. And we're going to set that up on there. Brian's back from the store. We're putting a water pump on this thing. Look how bad that bearing in that water pump is. Horrible, huh? Horrific. It was leaking out through there. These water pumps don't have a weep hole, so you know, we saw it was leaking so bad. And what it is the water pump can just, when it gets to be this bad, the water pump can just completely break off. When you accelerate, you'll go to hit the gas pedal to take off, and this thing will snap off and go flying up in here and break everything in your engine. So you don't want that to happen. It'll not only, that fan will take the fan blades and it'll snap them off into everything and just take a chunk out of your radiator, chop up your hoses, you name it. And so you definitely want to do that. We got the new water pump. He just went and picked up the fan clutch. The new water pump comes with a thermostat. We got the tensioner. I don't know if he grabbed an idler. We're gonna use the same belt. So cooling system wise, this will be good to go. I'm gonna steal the snap-on impact gun here to check the fluid on this Volkswagen. Hey Brian, go ahead and install that new fan clutch onto the fan.
Onto the water pump?
Yeah, but don't take the water pump off because I'm about to lower this Beetle down, drive it out, and we're gonna drive your truck in, and then we'll take the water pump off in there. So pretty much just you can put that in the meantime while I finish. I'm almost done with this video.
Start spraying that shit.
Don't go too crazy with the spray yet. Here's all his parts. Got rear main seal, aftermarket transmission cooler, got a water pump. Here, you can use the gun. I was gonna steal it while you were gone, but I'll just go old school and do it by hand. There's the socket and there's the gun back. You can clean that up a little bit if you want.
Yeah.
Before you put it back, just remember which direction is which. Otherwise you'll be pulling air the wrong way on the motor. Alright, so what's this temperature climbed up to? We're up to 158 now. You know what I'm gonna do, boys and girls? And yes, this Beetle is for sale. Anybody interested? They brought it to me to get it cleaned up, to get it sold. Driver's seat, leather's cracking a little bit. Belongs to a girl, a nice little hippie girl. Hippie happy, super duper awesome chick. Anyways, she bedazzled the crap out of it. Yep. So let me turn this forehead light off. I am going to actually help this thing get up to temperature. Only 153, 526 on this. We're in park. I'm gonna take it down slowly through all the gears. 3, skip 2, 1. Oh, if you noticed, I didn't just slam it down into dry. I didn't take it out of park and slam it down into one. You never want to do that. It's not being nice to transmission, especially an older one like this. So what did I do here? I shifted all the way down because I want those clutches on every gear to exchange, to open up and engage, the torque converter to start spinning up, and that fluid to start circulating throughout the whole system that we just poured in there. So there was already fluid in the torque converter. It's going to mix with that. We're waiting for this thing to get up to the temperature anyways. So normally you would do about a 15 Mississippi count in each gear and work your way back up. So I'm a talker and I've been yapping, so I know we've done 15 Mississippi on that one. Hey, what's up, Ams?
What's up, my friend?
I'm finishing up a video here.
Oh, sorry. Hey, wait, is your son here?
If you knock on that door, he'll come out. You don't want to go in because of the dog. Just tell him to come out. So that's been 15 Mississippi.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, baby? Hey, come on, I want to introduce you to somebody. Sure, no problem.
So another 15 Mississippi. And we're back up in the drive, as you can see. And then we're gonna take it up to neutral. And like I said, all this is doing is allowing that fluid to properly get everywhere inside that transmission. I've cycled through all the gears. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna check the temperature again. If you wanted to, you could actually put it in drive, take your foot off the brake, and gently give her a little gas. These cars like to trigger the ABS lights, so you don't want to spin it too hard or too fast. 1500, 2000 RPMs. And all we're doing is letting fluid just really go through that torque converter and through that transmission. When you take your foot off the gas, be gentle here. You don't want to be aggressive. Let it slow down, give it a second, then hit the brakes gently. Back up into neutral. Back up into reverse. Back up into park. And we're gonna come back out here. We're up to 180 on the temperature. We're up to like 94. It's getting a little hotter on the bottom than it is up top, about 94, 96. I'm gonna let this run a little bit more, guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull the funnel, just to show you guys what I did there. Let's pull the hose off of that. And then you should be able to pull it out right from the top. There's a little cap that'll go here. I'll show it to you guys. A little jam going on in there. And so if it's giving you trouble to come up, push it from the bottom. Hey, pull that funnel out from the top gently, please. Go ahead, pull it out. There you go. I set the gun out there for you with the socket. Alright, so here's the funnel that I use. Flex head funnel. I'm pretty sure I got this at O'Reilly's. I think that's the part number, W219. It's on the SKU there. And then this is the hose. It's a Gates hose, and the number has rubbed off of it, but I'll measure that hose for y'all. So we got about 9 inches. 9 inches. You don't want it longer than that, because then it'll kink trying to bend it in there. And I believe this is a 3/8. My pinky pretty much fits inside of it. You can take the cap. You can take the cap off and take the cap with you as a reference about the size of the pinky. Anyways, I'm gonna let this thing run for a little more and check the temperature. Pretty much that T5 that I told you about, that drain bolt there, right there, you're gonna pull it out, and it has a little tube inside of there. And once you pull it out, if it's overfilled, it'll spill some out, let it drain out, and then once it gets to level, it won't drain out anymore, because the little tube goes up high enough to where it won't drain out once it's at that height of that tube, at that level. So you'll crack this at temperature. If some spills out, that means it's overfilled. Let it spill out and then close it back up. And if it doesn't spill out, it means maybe you want to add a little bit more until it does spill out. And that way, you know, and then let it trickle and stop and tighten it up, and then that's how you know it's where it needs to be. Wanted to make a quick video, and it turned into a half-an-hour video, and I got a lot of people that just showed up, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Thanks for watching. Done with this YouTube video on a 2001 Volkswagen Beetle. God bless y'all. Have a good one.